Hello, wonderful people of Lakewood. Welcome to your Inequalities lesson. So you should have already done the pre-lesson and the card sort activity. So now we're going to go over some practice problems with inequalities. When solving inequalities, the direction of the inequality changes when we multiply or divide by a negative number. So you should have recognized that at the end of the pre-lesson, that when you're multiplying or dividing a negative number, think back to that happy face, kind of happy face, with a plus and a minus and a minus. So if you were, this is for multiplying and dividing only. When you multiply a positive and a negative, you get a negative. So you're changing that to a negative. When you multiply a negative and a negative, or divide, you get a positive. And that is the reason that in an inequality, we must change the direction of the sign. So that's a little conceptual. I think once we do some practice problems, it'll make a little bit more sense. Let's take a look at number 1. 2x minus 3 is greater than negative 1. So if you recall these from 6th and 7th grade, we're going to solve this just like an equation, like this symbol is an equal symbol. So you're going to have, you can put a line through that symbol, and remember our inverse operations. You want to solve for x and do unto one side as you would do unto the other. So if we're solving for x, I'm going to start by adding 3. I want to get rid of that negative 3 and do the opposite operation. Cross that out. And I'm going to add 3 to the other side. Negative 1 plus 3 gives me positive 2. And I'm going to bring down what I have left. 2x is greater than 2. Now to get rid of the 2 over here, 2 times x, right? We're going to do the opposite. We are going to divide by 2. And right here, is this a positive or a negative? It's a positive. So it doesn't follow this rule because these are negative numbers, and we're not going to change the inequality sign. So we're going to leave x on this side because it's still there, and we're going to keep our inequality symbol, and 2 divided by 2 is 1. So our final answer is x is greater than 1. And just to write this on a number line, to remind ourselves, it's going to be really helpful when deciding what numbers can be solutions. We're going to circle 1, because x we know is greater than 1, but it's not equal to 1. So we're going to circle it because 1 can't be an answer. But everything greater than 1 is an answer. So you're going to shade everything on the number line that is greater than 1 and the arrow as well to show that all of these numbers are solutions. So now I want you to answer, is negative 5 a possible solution? Well, you could look at the number line, but you could also come back to the original problem. 2 times negative 5 minus 3 is greater than negative 1. So 2 times negative 5 is negative 10 minus 3 is greater than negative 1. And negative 10 minus 3 is negative 13 is greater than negative 1. And if we were to do the math, we know that that's not true. Negative 13 is less than negative 1. So we're going to say no, that cannot be a solution. You could also look at your number line and notice that negative 13 is going to be way over here, and that's not in our shaded area. So is 3 a possible solution? Let's just look at the number line. Do we have 3 shaded? We do. So yes, 3 is a possible solution. Okay, number 2. Let's go ahead and draw a line down the inequalities sign. So now we have 5 minus 7x is greater than or equal to negative 2, right? Because it has that line underneath, representing an equal sign, part of an equal sign. So our first step, we want to get x by itself. I'm going to subtract 5. I want to get rid of that positive 5. I'm going to do the opposite and subtract 5. Let's cross that out, and let's do that to the other side as well. And negative 2 minus 5, we're going deeper into the negatives, negative 7. Let's rewrite our greater than or equal to sign and bring down our negative 7x. Okay, so now we want to get x by itself. I'm going to divide negative 7 to both sides, negative 7. And let's come back here and remember our rule. When we multiply or divide by a negative, we must change the direction of the inequality sign. So let's complete this. Negative 7 divided by negative 7, we can cross that out, and we still have x on this side. But here, we are going to flip. We're going to flip our sign. That says flip down there. And negative 7 divided by negative 7 is positive 1. So notice that we had a negative, but because we divided it by a negative, right, and we've got our negative divided by a negative, it becomes a positive. And that's the reason that we're going to switch the inequality sign. Our answer now needs to be less than or equal to 1. So let's go ahead and draw that on our number line, and this time, because it could also be equal to 1, we're going to color it in, and x, remember, is less than. So now we're going on the opposite direction of the number line. And so it can be any solution less than or equal to 1, right? Anywhere down here in the negatives. So is negative 2 a possible solution? Well, yes, it is, right? It's shaded here. But let's quickly check our math and plug it into the equation that we originally had. So we start with negative 7 times negative 2, and that's positive 14. And 14 plus 5 is 19. We have 19 is greater than or equal to negative 2. Is that correct? Is that a correct statement? Yes, it is. So yes, this is a solution. And is 3.5 a possible solution? Well, we know, so it's not shaded on the number line, right? This is where positive 3.5 would be, and it's not shaded. So no, it's not a solution. And you could do the same process up here by putting 3.5 into x in our original equation to check your answer. And I encourage you to always check your answer, just in case you might have made a mistake. Now, I want to look at number 4, and we're not going to finish it on the video. I just want you to notice that we have to use the distributive property. So if we're to start this problem again, negative 3, parentheses, x plus 1, parentheses, is less than negative 9. So go ahead and draw a line down your inequality sign, and I want to just show you that even though that we're still going to use, we still have to kind of break out this side of the equation first, and we need to use the distributive property. So we need to distribute that negative 3 to the x and to the 1. So it's going to be negative 3 times x, and that's just going to look like this, and negative 3 times positive 1, and that's going to become negative 3, right? A negative and a positive is negative. And we keep our symbol. That's going to be less than negative 9. So I would like you to finish this problem, number 4, on your own, and go ahead and finish the rest of this worksheet. So you have all of these problems, 5, 6, and 7. The same types of problems. And remember, you're always coming back. Your main goal right now is coming back to this. If you multiply or divide by a negative number, you need to switch that inequality sign. You also need to complete everything on the back. So do this as practice and check it with the control before you start your next lesson. Good luck.